as you are finding your queerness, you look for identity in different things. And it was kind of cool to see her be like, no, I'm dating a dude and I look like this and that's it. Because then that is even more inspiring to queer people, because it's like, wait, I can also look however I want.
Welcome to the Spark Parade, where I speak to your favorite artists about the movies and music that sparked their inspiration. I am here today with my fantastic guest, Lauren Sanderson,
Woo!
who is talking to me about her spark, Pink's globe-conquering fifth album, Funhouse.
Thanks for having me. I don't think there's any better interview than talking about the iconic Pink.
Yeah. Oh my God. So we always kick things off with the origin story between guest and Spark. So do you remember hearing Funhouse for the first time?
I gotta say, maybe that specific album, no, but I remember hearing Pink for the first time, like very specific, unforgettable moment in the back of my mom's car. I was like maybe 8, 7, something like that. And this was Don't Let Me Get Me was my intro to Pink. And, 7 is when you first start going to school and you start like kind of realizing maybe how you're different in ways than other people. And I feel like I just was like, oh, I'm a tomboy. I'm the baggy shirt girl. I'm like the kind of quiet, get nervous around like the cutesy, whatever girls. And I just heard Pink and the intro was just unforgettable because I was like, that is the coolest woman I've ever seen in my life. Like I heard her voice and I heard the lyrics, and specifically tired of being compared to Dim Britney Spears. She's so pretty, that just ain't me. And I heard that and I just remember tearing up. So it was like the first song that ever made me tear up and like really struck a chord with me emotionally, and that kind of was my first moment in music like that.
So with Funhouse, do you remember, So What being on the radio or any of that stuff? Like what are your memories of that album coming out?
Oh man, I think it came out in 2008. So I was 12. And which again, another just like another age that's just hard. Like that's just really self-discovery, really starting to like feel emotions, hitting puberty, like all the things. And I feel like that's also when like kind of the judgment at school happens. Like it starts getting more cliquey, it starts getting more whatever. And I grew up in Indiana, so that's already just instilled in so much of that naturally. Just the small town stuff already. And, being a tomboy and not really feeling like I fit in, and I didn't care about, dating, or I didn't have like a bunch of crushes. I was an only child. So I remember again, just Pink coming out with So What and being like, I see a light at the end of the tunnel for myself here. Like, not only is she so badass and so feminine, masculine, androgynous, all the things, but she's also just like, so what? Like, she's also not giving a shit. Also, am I allowed to cuss on this thing?
I insist.
Okay, thank God. I'm in the right place. But she's literally saying like, so what? I'm still a rock star and I don't need you tonight. Like she kind of was a huge introduction to that mindset of being allowed to be a woman and be like, I don't give a shit about this. Like, oh, I'm allowed to actually not care about what I'm supposed to care about. And that is always like struck a chord with me. And I remember listening to So What in the car. Again, a lot of car memories, because I think that was like a lot of time to think in the car. And so whenever I would hear Pink, I'd just be like, man, I could do that. And then the music video. I mean, actually seeing her, I feel, is so different too. It's like you hear it and you feel it, but then you see it. And it's like how I would hope That's something I like for my own artistry, is like I want to be that kind of thing where you can just listen to the song and feel it, but like on stage or in a music video, I want you to be able to be like, "Wah!" And feel
Mm.
all the things. So I think that's So What for me was like definitely a whoa moment.
Yeah, yeah, and that, that kind of you attitude
Mhm.
combined with talking about her marriage falling apart,
Mhm.
and, like, I thought it was so, like, wild, but really cool that she's, like, got her husband in the video,
Yeah.
and they're breaking up, and it's like, they still have this good relationship, they're determined to be friends with each other. I mean, they got back together and are still
Yeah,
together
yeah.
now, but I remember thinking at the time, like, this is amazing that
Yeah.
she's, like, putting that in the video and she's making fun of herself and just, like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's so cool, and it, like, said a lot to me about her and the way that
Mhm.
she expresses herself.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, again, there's so many cool things about her just as a person and an artist in general, but you don't see that many women being self-deprecating and funny and
Mm,
light, and especially at that time when I'm being introduced to music, meaning a lot to me, and also finding myself, and I'm seeing like that is so different than a lot of these other girls who, it's sex sells. It's just about being like hot, sexy, talented, nudity, like all of those things, which are sick. But it's also just so cool to see a Pink with muscles. She would wear like bikini tops on the red carpet, not trying to be hot, but trying to be how I perceived as like one of the dudes. Like,
mm,
if she was a dude, she would have been there shirtless, sagging her pants. That's what I feel all the time, is like I feel like I care about being pretty a lot less than a lot of women. And she
mm.
was always someone where I'm like, she's not making this video to look hot. She's making this video to like make someone laugh or inspire someone to be themselves. So
Which is
that's,
hot.
yeah,
That
it
and
is
that's the thing.
hot.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah, what's hotter than that? You know?
yeah.
So I think that's why this album and this artist is just so influential to my life, because I was like, whoa, she's not just trying to be a pretty girl, she's trying to be sick,
Mm,
like a
yeah,
sick person and an inspiration. And to me, that's like, that was always just so cool to me.
yeah, totally. There's, so much about her style that's kind of queer coded.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always felt for pop stars of her level, like as a queer person, having somebody who she's, I would say, straight. I mean, I don't think she's ever
Yeah.
really defined her
Yeah.
sexuality exactly,
Yeah.
pinpointing it, but she doesn't give a about how people perceive her and is
Yes.
so comfortable in her own skin that it doesn't matter. And it's not like she rejects queerness and she doesn't want anything to do with it. She loves queer people and she's so
Yeah.
supportive. And so it's like that kind of confidence is
Mm-hmm.
so incredible and it just comes through in everything she does.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I also think it's cool because also, like, as queer people, I think because we didn't necessarily have as many people who were just outwardly relatable in that way, because, times were different and you couldn't
Mm,
just be exactly who you are all the time. I think it's actually inspiring too that, maybe she would look the part. She totally, especially during that time, I'm sure is getting all these people being like, oh, she's a lesbian. Can't you tell? Like, she's
mhm.
obviously lying to herself, or whatever people were
Yeah.
saying
Or
at the time.
and that's why she's getting a divorce, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's why she's getting a divorce and all this stuff. And so I think that it's just cool too, because then as you are, finding your queerness, then a lot of the times you look for identity in different things. And it was kind of cool to see her be like, no, I'm dating a dude and I look like this and that's it. Because then that is even more inspiring to queer people, because it's like, wait, I can also look however I want. Like
Mhm.
a lot of like, feminine queer women, I know, feel like frustrated all the time because people are like, you don't look gay. You don't
Mhm.
look, and it's like, what does that mean? Like,
Right.
so that is cool too. And I love that she is so queer coded. Like, and the best thing is, yeah, she doesn't reject it. She's not like making an announcement being like, I am not this. I've said this before. And like, she doesn't care. She's like, and maybe in another life I am. Right now I have a husband, you know?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I think that's so sick too.
Yeah. And that kind of defying people's expectations or just like not allowing people to put her in a box.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff about all the music videos from this album as well, not just So What, but like Please Don't Leave Me, where it's this like, if you just listen to it and you don't see the video, it's like this
Yes.
very heart-wrenching thing. But the
Yes.
video is so funny and so silly and light. And I've read
Yes.
interviews with her from around when this album came out, and she's like, yeah, I had things happening to me, and I just thought it was like hilarious to make
Yeah.
not like people I told them, I'm making this, the lead single is about the divorce and just like kind of acting like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter to me, and was
Yeah.
like cackling to herself, and everybody's looking at her like, what are you doing? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, she just doesn't care. It's like this,
Yeah.
she does what she wants to do, and she tries to like make statements with what she's doing that are a reflection of who she is, instead of just like
Right.
trying to cater to what people want from her.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that song too in particular is so cool because it's like it's so simply put, it's please
Mm,
don't leave me, but again, it's not how, women are typically portrayed in this like please don't leave me. I'll be nothing. It's not, it's not a video of a heartbroken girl like who can't get out of bed. It's like her again making light of a situation that obviously this song is heartbreaking alone, but I
mm,
love how simply it's put. Just please don't leave me.
mhm,
Please don't leave me. I don't know. I just think that it's cool. She doesn't go too deep. She doesn't go too deep into explaining why she does these things. And I feel like as I've gotten, as I've grown in my career, I feel like every person who I have met that does have like that level of stardom, that is the one thing that they all have in common is they don't explain themselves. They just say yes, say no. I'll do that. I don't want to do that. Like everything is just so authentic. Um,
mm.
and she's like one of my dream people who I would love to meet. Obviously would love to like open for Pink or collab with Pink, but to me, like I think she's just one of those people that no matter what the music sounded like, I would be on board just because of who she is. And this album in particular, I think because I was 12 and I was finding myself, maybe like it's 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 just like so life-changing. Changed like the trajectory of my life. And even the song Funhouse too. This was supposed to be a fun house. Like this was supposed to be she's just so good at like the comedic relief and like making deep things feel digestible. You
Yeah,
know?
this used to be a fun house, and now it's full of evil clowns. Like the first time I heard that lyric, I was just like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, exactly. Again, if somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, I have this song for you. Here are the lyrics. Evil clowns and this and fun house," and I'd be like, I don't know if I can like picture myself, but then when you see someone like her doing it, it's like, that's so cool that this really only works for this person. Why she named it Funhouse is who knows, but I just love that she like made it that.
Yeah, I think she said it was like her world at that time was like this kind of like funhouse mirrors where everything was like kind of distorted and
Mm.
being pushed in weird directions because it was such a like stressful
Yeah.
emotional time in her life.
Mm.
um so yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That's
It's
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. And I was just talking about this with my friend yesterday, but to know like titles of things cuz I'm such a big titles person, like song
Mm,
titles, album titles, and it's always so fascinating to me once you listen to a body of work and you see what was like the one part of every song that meant the most to them and
mhm,
what became the title and especially the album, cuz the title of an album is supposed to sum everything up into one word or one sentence or one phrase, which is crazy. That's like one of the hardest parts for me, like I can't come up with an album until I have a title a lot of the times. It's the best part to see in other artists too.
One other thing that I just remembered is
Mhm.
that she originally wanted to call the album Heartbreakism, but the label wouldn't let her.
See, that's so good. She's just so funny, and I relate to her so much too, because there's been a lot of moments in my career where you do want to put that, and you do want to make that the album title because you just feel things so passionately. But then, your team has to kind of ground everything and make it commercial or make it digestible, at least a little. And so, there's been titles that I've had for my album or that makes me feel better knowing that she was willing to like change things, like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Funhouse, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. You guys are
Yeah.
boring Funhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if she would feel differently now. Like, I feel like you can probably get away with more in an album title than you could then. But
Yeah,
who
that's
knows?
true. That's true. I feel like, oh, especially during that time, I mean, I would imagine she was fueled by rebellion.
Mm.
And that's another thing that's relatable to me when I'm told, like, I can't do things because it will freak people out or like it will be too out there or whatever. It just makes me want to be more out there.
But then you contrast that with, like, in this album, the performance she did at the Grammys of
Yes.
Glitter in the Air, like the Cirque du Soleil of it
Yeah.
all, in all of her performance. Like, have you seen her?
I've
And
never seen her live. I
oh
mean,
my
I've
God,
obviously seen a million videos, but I can't, like, that woman is a full-on gymnast,
it is
acrobatist.
like fearless, terrifying for me.
Really?
I've seen her a couple of times in like a gigantic arena.
Mm-hmm.
It is a piece of fabric hanging from the ceiling, and she's wrapped up in that, but there's no net. She's not attached to anything else. And she's
God.
like flipping around, singing the
Mm,
whole time
Karen.
flawlessly.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's like nothing. And this Grammys performance, you should watch it. It's like she's doing all that aerial stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get her wet. So she's like got water like flying off of her.
Oh,
She's spinning around and
sick.
stuff. And she just looks incredible. And then just like lands on the ground at the end of it. And it's just
Right.
like, there you go.
She has such a grace element to her where she respects herself. She takes herself seriously. And that's another relatable thing where I'm like, I I feel like I do take myself very seriously, but I'm also kind of just like, I'm just gonna make it. I want to have fun. At the end of the day, I want to make everything fun. But I take myself very seriously, and I'm serious about the way I want things to be so that I can have fun. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. And it's like she is so talented and
Mm-hmm.
is such an amazing performer, and she loves it. And that's why she does what she does, and that's why she's, gotten to be as famous as she is and as successful as she is because that appeals to her fans so much that she's like
Exactly.
showing who she is. But she's also like such a pro, and she puts on this show that's just like, she makes it look totally effortless, of course,
Right.
but it's like just this insane spectacle, which is again like kind of defying people's expectations of what she would be, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like she's not just on stage like kind of air guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
There's some of that too, but it's like it's just kind
Yeah.
of mixing it up and just keeping people on their toes all the time.
Yeah. Like that's so inspiring because she 100% could take all of the acrobatics out and people would still go to the show. They would still have the best time, all of that. But she chooses to do that because that's part of it. That's part of her. That's part of what she wants. And it's inspiring to me because I too feel like I just want to go on stage and blah. But you do want to kind of show like this is not just like fun and games to me. This is like also my life's work, and I want to go
Mm.
on stage and I want people to like leave the show like I'm sure people leave Pink shows and just feel like, God, like I gotta be more myself, or I gotta get out and live my life, and that freedom feeling that she has to her. And I want people to feel that for me too, but you also respect her so much because again, she has muscles. Like, she has a legit build that you can tell that woman is training. You know, like, she dedicates time to make that show. And I love what you said about her being a pro, because God, there's nothing better than going to see an artist live and being like, they are just so seasoned, you know, so seasoned in their craft. Something could fly out of the air. Something could, like, anything could happen right now and they would be not off a beat.
Yeah, and just, you know, the connection that she has with her fans, just like people, she makes people feel safe. And I think that's the best artist, when you're in a room with someone who's just like, they're gonna take care of you for the time that you're. And
Isn't that cool?
yeah.
You know, that shows through Pink's whole career. You can tell how much she cares and how much genuine thought and intention is just put into all of it. Because there's a lot of sides to artists. Artists are crazy.
Yeah.
And it's cool when they can channel it all and show it all in a concise way, but while still letting it fly, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think she does that really well. So, how has your relationship with this album evolved over the years? Like, can you talk a little bit about like what it has meant to you over the course of your life or your career? You know, how you feel about it now as opposed to when you first heard it?
Well, I think I chose this album because of the age that I was, and I think as I've gotten older, I almost just like appreciate it more because of the simplicity of the complexity, I guess. I don't know another way to put that, where at the time it was like, this awesome. Whereas now I'm like, that was really a beautiful moment in life. And that was a moment where I can look back and I can appreciate so much that did make me feel safe. And it did give me a safe space to evolve, where maybe I wouldn't have even known was possible without that album. So I think like how my relationship has evolved with this album is just kind of seeing how cool it was that this was like an acceptance album of life and all the crazy shit happening and the chaos and not knowing what to do a lot of the times and just having to laugh at it and make fun of it. And you know, that album changed a lot of lives, and knowing it was probably one of the most stressful times in her life, and she was able to make an album that felt so grounded and sure of itself is just so cool. You know?
Agreed. Yes. I think that right there is a wonderful sentiment to finish on. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. This has been really wonderful.
Yeah, this was so fun and gave me some cool flashbacks.
Yeah, great. All right, thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, do you want more conversations with incredible people talking about the movies and music they love? Then subscribe to the Spark Parade YouTube channel.